If you're looking for a trading video to tell you it's okay that you miss your favorite setup and maybe give you a pat on the back and say you'll get them next time, then you're in the wrong place. It's not okay. Those are the trades you cannot miss. In this video, we share a trade that cannot be missed and an SME challenge to you if for some reason you miss one of your favorite trades. The solutions you can take so you don't miss your favorite setups we'll talk about here. Because you can't. You can't miss your best setups. Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, Managing Partner of SME Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan. And I'm also the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade, and the Playbook. Click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. In this video, you're going to learn how not to miss your favorite trades. You're also going to learn the changing fundamentals trade, the news catalyst that caused such a big move in GOOS, how to use a daily chart to increase your odds of a winning trade, how to use the overall market as information to make better trade decisions. And as always, the biggest reward from our videos is how to think through a trade like a professional trader. For those of you who want to improve your trading so you grow your trading account, we hope this video helps. If you want to learn 3 real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders, and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing right now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's going to open up the free registration page in a new window. Don't worry, you're not going to lose this video. You can also visit tradingworkshop.com to register for this free, intensive, awesome workshop. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education. So for those of you who are new in the room and are not familiar with the terminology, changing fundamentals trade is something that has unexpectedly good or bad news from the company. It will be unusual. We call it a news catalyst. It's something that big money traders can take a position in with such significant news. You'll see the stock potentially trade directionally for 2 or 3 sessions. You will spot these, you will confirm these trades with elevated ARVL. ARVL will be elevated on certain days. It will consistently trade above or below VWAP in the direction of the news. So if the news is really bad, it'll trade below VWAP. The news is really good, it'll trade above VWAP. You'll see multiples of its ATR, and it should trend cleanly for the intraday. And in terms of changing fundamentals trade, so if a company really misses their full year guidance by a ton, that'd be an example of unusually unexpected negative news. If the company blew out its revenue numbers and attraction of new customers, that would be an example of unusually unexpected positive news. When we see these before the open, they get our attention because big money traders are going to want to go to work, and there's lots of opportunity in these stocks.
So here's a big picture of Canada Goose. So on this day, it was gapping below its range on the daily following a poor earnings report. This is a check in our favor for our bearish thesis. So we have a bearish daily chart.
So you've got some people who are long who are going to want to bail because technically that stock is not doing well. That's the significance of the break in that daily chart, and you might get some shorts that want to pile in because of a significant break in that daily chart.
So here's XLY, Consumer Discretionary ETF. The entire consumer discretionary sector was gapping down after a series of weak earnings reports. which is another check in our favor. So in that morning, SPY was also gapping below the significant 280 level. The market gapping below an important technical level is another big check in our favor. So we have a lot going for this trade. So the intraday fundamentals. GOOS lost more than a quarter of its market value after reporting its quarterly revenue. So fourth quarter revenue rose 25% to Canadian dollar 156.2 million, below analyst average estimates of Canadian dollar 158.9 million. That's the first miss on sales since Canada Goose's IPO, so that's pretty significant.
Say that again.
That's the first miss on sales since Canada Goose's IPO.
So that's significant. We had a pattern changed. You got all these people long the stock based on a pattern. Pattern's different. What do you think that they have to do? They have a trade decision, don't they?
So Canada Goose also said that revenue would rise at least 20% this fiscal year, less than analysts' 26% forecast and down from 40% last year.
So they're not growing as fast as the street had expected. The street hates that.
So while adjusted profit beat expectations, the revenue shortfall raised concerns about whether demand is leveling off more quickly than Wall Street anticipated.
Yeah, this is a business that is not growing, that is not doing better.
Our vol that day was 10.4. And something else that's pretty significant is that the institutional ownership of this stock is 95.5%. So with the pattern changing, a lot of institutional investors might have to dump. So trade management. This is from the open a little bit before till 12. Goose tested 42 just before the open and fails. Off the open, the stock tests 42 and fails again. So ideally you short tier 1 there, risking against the wick high. Then we have this hard down move and Goose gets below 40, which is the pre-market low on elevated volume. And that's where you want to short tier 2, and you can see the volume highlighted on that break. Then the stock pauses at the 52-week low, which is 39.58. It gets below and then just quickly wicks back above. So you would want to short tier 3, risking against the high of that wick. And then you can see that we steadily trended, and then the stock tests 35.80 multiple times. So 1, 2, 3. And the downtrend on the higher time frame, the 5-minute chart, breaks. So this would be a reason to cover half of the position, as value buying may have come into the stock, and this is a change of character from what we've seen.
All right, good. So you have a trade decision there when it can't get below a new low, when it has been getting below a new low most of the day. So you have a trade decision there at the bottom to recognize value buying and make a trade decision. You have a trade decision if it breaks this pattern and on the 5-minute, as you talked about, to take some risk off. I want to say something about this stock. Not enough of us were in this particular play. Can you bring up the next slide?
All right, so this is from 12 to the close now. So the stock bounces off that 35.80, tests 36.50, fails and gets back below 36. So Goose gets below 35.80 support and consolidates. You can see highlighted here that it tests 35.80 and can trade above. So you would want to put the risk back on that you originally had. So 35 is then tested. Goose can't break 35, and it makes a higher low right here. So that's a trade decision, and ideally you would want to cover about a tier there. So you can see that it attempts to test 36 and can't even make it there. So you could either decide, you could short more there, or you could wait to see if it does what it does next. So into the close, the stock has a hard down move into 35. You can see the volume increasing here from what we've seen. Gets below and begins to consolidate. So massive downside volume starts to come into the stock, as you can see here highlighted. And ideally, you would want to add a significant amount of size here, expecting a sell-off or momentum drive to the downside into the close. you would want to cover pieces into these hard down moves and be out of the position before the bell.
So here's your SME challenge. All right, so let's say you miss this trade. This is, one of the better trades, a changing fundamentals trade. It's one of the better trades for us as active short-term traders. And, not all of us were in this, and we want to fix that. I know for you, when we did your monthly report, what was one of the best trades that you measured from last month?
The changing fundamentals.
All right, so let's say you've done this. Let's say that you have tagged and measured your trades, and you've gathered that data in TradeReview. And you know that a changing fundamentals trade is one of your best trades. And then midway through the day and after the close, you see, wow, this thing really traded down. And it traded so cleanly, and it traded so directionally. Man, I blew a big opportunity. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you blew a big opportunity. And you need to fix that. And so, that first step is you've got to understand what your best setups are. And then you've got to develop a system where you cover those setups before every trading session. You guys are all good enough to know that if you catch one of your good setups, you can make a lot of money. And you also know that if you're not in one of those setups, that's a lot of P&L left off the table that you need, so you have good results. And so you've got to develop that system to cover all of these before the open. So, if one of your best trades is a changing fundamentals trade, you need to know all of the stocks that have unusually good news before the open and unusually bad news before the open. And you've got to develop a system so you don't miss any of them, whether that's going to briefing, whether that's looking on Bloomberg, whether that's then also talking to your buddies. That is the minimum standard of what you need to do before the open. You should come in this room, we should start the AM meeting, and you should say, here are the top changing fundamentals trades that I'm hawking. All right, and then you should take it a step further, which is you should build filters to spot these setups intraday. A changing fundamentals trade that trades like that has variables that you can code for. So you can say things like, it's down 3%, it has elevated RVOL, it's holding consistently below VWAP, it's done a certain ATR. You don't even have to be that specific. All right, but you can build filters, you can use the technology here so that, let's say you went out too late. I'm sure this doesn't happen to anyone in the room, but you stayed up late for the Bruins-Blues game, and for some reason you didn't read all the news. Is it the Bruins and the Blues? Okay. And for some reason you missed something. You should be able to catch it with your technology as well. If this is your best trade, and you've measured that, and you've done the work to measure it, you need the system, and then you need the backup with the technology, the plan B, to make sure you capture those ideas. This is a minimum amount of work that you ought to be doing. That's why we go through the monthly reviews. That's why we ask you guys to do TradeReview, is to understand what you do well, and you've got to make a lot of money in your best trades. That's why we had a conversation the other day where you had a good day, and I kind of felt like you thought you had a good day, and honestly, my reaction was, you should have done better. Like you could have done 3 times better in your best day this month, 3 times better in your best day this month. And there are things that you need to do that. And so, you need to be thinking, what stocks have unusually good news, positive news before the open that are changing fundamentals trades, and making sure you've got that system so that you don't miss them. You can't miss those trades. You can't. I wish I could sit here and say to you guys, everyone in this room is going to be a millionaire in 2 years. Don't worry, we'll take care of everything. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to push the buttons for you. It's easy. It's just a matter of time. I mean, we know that's not true. You can't miss you all have trades that you're good at though now, at this point. You do. You have trades that you have clear edge in. But you can't miss them. And you can't fail to have a system in place that ensures that you're in your best trades. You can't. Hey, go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comment section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at S&B, train and trade well.